In the quiet town of Blackwood, there stood a house that no one dared to enter. It had been there for over 100 years, older than most of the town itself. Its windows were black, lifeless. Its doors creaked, but never opened to welcome anyone. And the people of Blackwood? They spoke of it only in whispers. The Hollow House, they called it. They said it was cursed. They said anyone who stepped inside never came out the same. But Clara didn't believe in curses. She was a young journalist, hungry for a story that could make her career. And when she heard the rumors about Blackwood, she knew this was it. This was the story she was meant to tell. So, one gray afternoon, with clouds heavy in the sky and a chill in the air, Clara stood before the Hollow House. Her heart pounded as she stared at it, the air thick with silence. "This is it," she whispered, clutching her camera bag. The house loomed over her, tall and broken, its wood rotting, its walls cracked. But the strangest part was how it felt, as if the house was staring back at her, watching, waiting. Clara had arrived in Blackwood earlier that day. It was a small town, quaint, quiet, the kind of place that felt stuck in time. But beneath its charm, there was something unsettling. She tried asking the locals about the Hollow House. At a small corner store, she approached the shopkeeper, a man in his 60s with tired eyes. "Excuse me," she said politely. "Do you know anything about the old house at the end of Mill Road?" The man froze. His hand tightened around the newspaper he was holding. Slowly, he shook his head. "You don't want to go near it," he muttered. "People who enter don't come back the same." Clara leaned forward, curious. "What do you mean? Did something happen there?" But the man wouldn't answer. He simply turned away, his lips pressed into a thin line, as if speaking more might invite something terrible. Even the children seemed wary. When Clara walked through town, she noticed how they avoided the road that led to the Hollow House. One little girl tugged on her mother's sleeve as they passed, whispering something Clara couldn't hear. The mother quickly hushed her and hurried away, not even glancing in Clara's direction. Everyone was hiding something, and that only made Clara more determined. "If they're this scared," she muttered to herself, jotting down notes in her journal, "then there's definitely a story here." By sunset, Clara stood at the gates of the Hollow House. The path was overgrown with weeds, the fence rusted and broken. Her boots crunched against the gravel as she approached the front door. The air grew colder. The silence pressed against her ears. She swallowed hard, pulled out her camera, and clicked the record button. "Clara Bennett," she said, her voice steady, though her hands trembled. "Reporting from Blackwood. This is the Hollow House. Locals refuse to speak about it, and rumors claim it's cursed. Tonight, I'll find out the truth." The door creaked as she pushed it open. The smell of dust and rot hit her immediately, and as she stepped inside, the floorboards groaned beneath her feet, as if the house was sighing at her arrival. The air inside the Hollow House was heavier than she expected. It wasn't just dust or decay. It was like stepping into a place that remembered pain. Clara set down her equipment, a tripod, a flashlight, her voice recorder. Her camera lens glowed faintly in the dark, capturing the shadows that seemed to stretch longer than they should. "Day one," she whispered into her recorder. "The house is silent, abandoned, but it feels alive." She moved from room to room, her boots echoing against the wooden floor. Cobwebs clung to the corners, furniture sat rotting where it had been left, and the wallpaper peeled like dead skin. By the time night fell, Clara had set up camp in what seemed to be the living room. She unrolled her sleeping bag and placed her flashlight beside her. The glow was dim, flickering as if the batteries were already failing. And then she heard it. Footsteps upstairs. She froze. Her breath caught in her throat. She was supposed to be alone. Slowly, she reached for her flashlight, clutching it like a weapon. The steps were deliberate, one after the other, pacing back and forth. Her voice trembled as she spoke into the recorder. "It's midnight. I hear footsteps above me. I swear I'm alone." The sound stopped. Gathering every ounce of courage, Clara made her way to the stairs. Each step creaked under her weight, announcing her presence to whatever was waiting above. The hallway stretched before her, lined with doors, some cracked open, others shut tight. At the end of the hall, she noticed a faint shimmer. A room filled with broken mirrors. She stepped inside, her flashlight beam bouncing across shattered glass. The shards reflected her from every angle, dozens of Claras staring back at her. And then, without her touching it, her recorder clicked on. The static buzzed before her own voice filled the room. But it wasn't from her lips. "Get out," the voice whispered. "Get out, before it's too late." Clara's skin went cold. Her hand shook as she picked up the recorder. That wasn't me," she muttered. But deep down, she knew. The house had spoken. The mirrors weren't right. They didn't just reflect her, they distorted her. In one shard, her eyes looked hollow. In another, her smile stretched too wide, teeth sharp and unnatural. And in the largest piece of glass, she saw herself tilt her head. But she hadn't moved. Her reflection smirked, lips curling into something cruel. Clara stumbled back, nearly tripping over broken glass. Her breath grew shallow, every instinct screaming at her to run. The surface of the mirror rippled, like water